edition of Nashville Meets World. I am here with the incredible, wonderful Alice Wallace. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Well, a little bit allergy-ridden. I think I'm getting used to the the flora here, but overall having a great time.
You've come in a really, really pretty time of year too. Everything's starting to fall from the trees, and it's autumn, and it's starting to really turn golden. It's lovely. And this is your first trip to Edinburgh, right?
First trip to Scotland ever. I know, I'm a Wallace, and I've never been to Scotland.
I mean, that's going to be a feeling in itself. Does it feel like coming home?
I think it does. I think it does. I know, just like driving up, past the sign of Scotland, I was like just so excited.
Did you have the bagpipes out and kind of like?
Didn't bring any bagpipes, but in my head I was playing bagpipes.
Oh, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Have you actually ever wanted to try the bagpipes?
My uncle on my mom's side, who's actually not the Wallace side, they're Sheehan, which I think might also be Scottish. He plays the bagpipes, but I've never tried them. No, I haven't gotten the urge to, but they are cool and loud.
They are loud. I had a friend that decided he wanted to learn to play the bagpipes, and it was like listening to a crying cat all day, all night, all day, all night. He just wouldn't give up on it, and I eventually had to say, "That's enough. You're just not getting any better. You keep playing the same squeaky cat. It's not good." How's the tour been so far? You've been everywhere lately. What's it been like?
It's been great. Yeah, I mean, I've been in the UK for about a week. I think it's our fourth show.
Where did you start?
Started in Southport.
It's nice.
And then went to Worcester, which I mispronounced many times.
It's like the Worcestershire sauce, and everybody gets that wrong.
I know. I got up on stage and I was like, "Thank you for having us in."
Oh dear.
And like I blanked, and all of a sudden I'm like, I knew how to say this like 5 minutes ago, and then I'm like, and then somebody shouted, "Worcester!" I'm like, that's right, that one. Thanks for having me here. Spelled completely differently. Why are you doing this to me?
It's so tricky, isn't it? The English language in England can be so particular. We get it wrong. I have that much trouble too. It's terrible.
Yeah, but it's fun. I know it's like a shared language that we speak differently, but it's a lot of fun.
That's good. And then from Worcestershire. I'm going for the sauce now, guys. Yeah.
I know. And then where did we go? Scarborough.
Oh, Scarborough.
Last night. Was that our third show, or did we have another show in between? Now all of a sudden
Just
I'm
too
like,
much tour life.
It's so funny how it's like we only had a few shows. Even like I think it was like our second night. Somebody asked where we'd been the night before, and I'm like, where were we? Like all of a sudden it's gone.
It's crazy that, isn't it?
So yeah.
I mean, you've been touring so much too.
Yeah.
How does that feel? Because you've not always. Yeah. How do you get started with the music? How did that come about for you? Because you wasn't always a musician, were you?
Well, my family is pretty musical, so I grew up doing a lot of singing, a lot of playing. It was kind of a natural thing. I started writing songs when I was in high school, but it took me until about 7 years ago to quit my job and start doing it full time. Like I always wanted to do it, but it took me a long time to get up the guts to go, okay, I'm going to really try to make this happen.
What was the inclination that you said, this is it, I've got to do it now. Now's the time,
I think it was just, I don't know. It was just a long time coming, and I just started saving up and just decided like it's now or never, And I'm just like, life is too short. Why am I working these jobs that I don't want to be doing and just like waiting till the weekend when I can finally, go play a show? So I just, there wasn't any like definitive point. It just kind of.
So you'd always, even during all the working years of not being a musician, you was always playing them. You was always on the weekends doing stuff and doing things.
Yeah. And I kept hoping that I'd kind of get it going, that I could quit my job and feel like I had a music career. But then I realized I was like, I'm not going to have a music career until I just make it my career. It's not just going to happen on its own.
And so it's a scary thing making that choice, right?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
I mean, I do have a very supportive family. Actually, in California, when I quit my job, I just moved back home with my family, because then I started spending, 80% of my time on the road too. So, it's very expensive to rent an apartment there. And so I'm like, why would I spend $1,500 a month for an apartment I'm never in? So luckily I have a family who's very supportive, but I am about to move to Nashville and actually start paying my own bills again. But it's a lot cheaper in Nashville than it is LA. So
I mean, it's good music out there, so you can't really grumble about that either. But the only thing you got is the allergies, and the allergies are really.
We'll see. Although I do spend some time there, and usually they haven't bothered me too much. So hopefully.
I went out in June, and they had me go out there to play, because I play too. So they had me go out to do some shows. I didn't know about the allergies until I got there, and nobody told me. And I had CMA, and it was like 2 days to the show, and I lost my voice. Nothing. And I'm like, freaking out. I couldn't get nothing to do. I went to the doctors. They're like, okay, there's only one thing for this. I'm like, what's that? You're going to get a steroid shot. I'm like, steroid shot? You crazy? So I had to get a steroid shot to get my voice back, and it came back within about 4 hours.
Never done that. I've heard of that. So I guess when it gets really desperate, you know, because I woke up yesterday with kind of a swollen throat. I mean, it's when your voice is your instrument and it can be so much affected by the atmosphere and just all these different changes.
And people around you all the time after show after show after show. How do you deal with it?
I know.
How do you take care of it on the road?
I mean, I just try to, you know, stay very hydrated, drink tea, eat, you know, I'm a vegetarian, so I kind of tend to stick to, you know, try and stick to healthier eting, get some exercise. But sometimes you just can't avoid it, and it just kind of hits you.
Exercising on the road is also not very easy.
Right.
How does that work? I mean, that's like crazy. I guess going around and seeing cities and kind of walking about is exercises on the road.
Yeah, I bring like running clothes. Like I went running the first few days, but then I haven't really had a chance to since.
You don't really want to run in Edinburgh because it's just like stairs, like millions of stairs up to the Royal Mile, and then and then down. So
there you go. Yeah, good exercise though.
It would be.
I probably would end up just walking it anyway. I'd be like, I'm gonna go run, and then not anymore.
There are a lot of stairs. So you're working on, you've done the new album, Into the Blue. Tell us about that. Tell us where it started, what kind of brought it on, how it came about, and how it's been going.
Yeah, I mean, Into the Blue is my 4th album, actually.
Congratulations.
And so it's just one of those things where, you know, you're out on the road and you're slowly writing songs and accumulating them, and you go, okay, I think it's time to record an album. And this one really ended up being a very California-centric album, although there is some...
I love that, California-centric, what a great word.
Yeah. You know, it's like I was born in California, I was raised in Florida, but then I moved back there about 10 years ago, and that is, it's definitely been home base for me, and my mom's family is from there, and it just took a lot of influence from that, but also from my travels too. You know, it's funny that I feel like my songwriting changed a lot when I started touring full time, just because when you're out on the road, hearing stories and just like kind of absorbing all these different influences, it affects your art in a big way. Wow. So, yeah.
That's really cool, though. And the main songs on it that I really like are Santa Ana Winds. Mm-hmm. That's got such an incredible... It's almost got a sort of like a Spanish kind of vibe in there as well, with some of the guitar work and the backings and stuff like that. But the vocals and the story behind it, you're a real storyteller, and I love that. There's such a quality that is fading with so much modern music, and to hear what you're doing and bringing it back in such a sweet, lovely way. It's a big credit to what you're doing.
Yeah, that's something that also changed, you know, when I started traveling like to Texas, where it's such a storytelling, songwriting scene and things like that. Like, I just started, you know, hearing all these different ways to approach a song, and it started changing how I wrote them.
Yeah.
So,
can we hear one?
Absolutely. Well, do you want to hear Santa Ana Winds?
Can we?
We could. Might as well.
All right, let's do it.
If that's one of your favorites.
Yeah, I need to hear it.
And yeah, actually, I wrote this song with a friend of mine who lives in Texas. His name's Andrew Delaney. We wrote several songs for the album together.
Right.
And he's one of my favorite songwriters. And we wrote this about the wildfires in California. And we have a phenomenon.
The ones that just recently went through, right?
Well, yeah, over the last few years, it's just kind of like every year we have a new fire that is the biggest, most destructive fire that we've ever had. You know, it's just like it's been piling on. I think this year is going to be a little better because we finally got some good rain. Yeah. But for about 6 years there, California basically didn't get any rain.
Wow.
It was insane. It got so dry, and so then just this tiniest little spark, and you know, a whole town's gone. And I wrote this one with him when it was a couple years ago. There was a fire called the Thomas Fire in Santa Barbara and Ventura counties that just first it wiped out a hillside, and then because there was no brush on the hillside, the mudslides came. And it was just like piling on top and on top, and it was just, you know, we wanted to try to capture some of that in a song. And so this is called the Santa Ana Winds. Out on the horizon, there's a wicked orange glow, while a neighbor sprays her rooftop with a garden hose. You heard they couldn't save the horses, so they had to let them go, while the Santa Ana winds just blow. The newsman, he keeps talking
like he thinks that you don't know. And the shelters, they're all stocked up with prayers and with hopes. And it's get out now and on your way with whatever you can hold, while the Santa and the wind just blow. We come from dust and ashes, and to such when they return. Light a candle to Saint Barbara and watch it burn. Oh, 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 oh. Now the helicopter's leaving, turning eddies in the smoke, and it's hot and thick and black, and it's hanging in your throat. The flames are licking neighborhood, ain't you house and home, while the Santa and the winds just blow. We come from dust and ashes, and to such when they return. Light a candle to Saint Barbara and watch it burn. While the Santa winds just blow. Oh, the Santa winds just blow. The Santa and the winds.
Hey, that is amazing. My gosh, your voice is so big. You just, looking at you, it's just like you've got this gigantic voice.
Yeah,
You don't expect that.
I usually get the sound guy. I'm like, you don't need to put it up too loud. I'm kind of a loud one. I come from a loud family.
Really?
I know. We all just sing loud, and
I love that.
It's just how I do it.
You're so great. Wow. You've got such a clean, almost like, I hear like a lot of older woman in your voice. That real kind of like, that real early country kind of Americana sound, that folk sound, that kind of Emmylou kind
Yeah,
of
I mean,
edge
really,
as well. Like that
because
really
of my parents.
big.
Yeah, like Emmylou was a huge one. Linda
really?
Ronstadt, Dolly Parton, Bonnie Raitt. Like, I feel like those were the voices I listened to when I was growing up, and so I kind of like, my voice kind of became like this combination of a lot of them. So yeah.
And now do you listen to the same kind of things, or is it more, you know,
I mean, a
mainstream
lot
stuff?
I would say
stuff.
modern, like Americana for sure.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm so excited about like the new Highwomen, you know, because like, you know, Brandy Carlisle has been one of my favorites forever.
What a super group that is.
I know, you know, things like that. You know, there's a lot of great, you know, strong women. Patty Griffin for years has been one of my favorites, and you know, a lot of that kind of that mixes sort of folk and country and blues. That rootsy Americana thing has always been where most of my, you know, interests lay.
And they just did an incredible duet with Dolly up at the, was it the Canadian State Fair or something?
Or
one of the state
they
fairs.
did like the Newport Folk Festival, I think.
It was
together.
in Newport, and it went everywhere, and it was the greatest.
I know. I saw clips of that. I'm like, man, I wish I had been there for that. I know. Yeah. Although I was at Americana Fest and got to play that in Nashville, and saw Brandy several times, including she sang with, because she produced the new Tanya Tucker album.
I didn't know that.
And so she was really the one who kind of brought Tanya back, you know, into putting a.
Right.
Yeah, I know, and yeah, she's fantastic. And so she helped write most of the songs. She produced it, and so she got up there and sang the whole set with her, and it was just phenomenal. It was so good. Yeah.
Wow. And you're going to get to see all of this again sort of soon. You're moving back to Nashville. That's going to be exciting. When does that happen?
Pretty much at the end of November. I'm coming home from this tour. I'm gonna spend a couple of weeks packing up everything.
Wow.
Anything that won't fit in my car, I'm just gonna throw
I'll
away.
fit in the car. You can take me.
Oh, there we go.
Okay,
Perfect.
I'll fit in the car. I also hear in your voice, you've got like, Jewel is an American singer-songwriter as well. You've obviously heard of Jewel. She's amazing. I love her stuff. But she's got this family that's got this yodeling kind of edge. And I guess that's from their heritage, because I mean Alaska and then I think Switzerland before that their family came from. But I hear a lot of that kind of, you could do that. You've got that voice. I mean, some of the notes you're hitting there in Santa Ana Winds, you've got that almost, it's resonating there. I love that. How's that?
Well, it's funny you say that, because Jewel was one of my biggest influences when I first, like in high school when I picked up the guitar. She was the modern singer-songwriter that I most identified with.
Wow.
And I taught myself to yodel because of her.
Are you serious?
So I yodel at every show, actually. You didn't know that I yodel?
I didn't know that.
It's funny that
That's
you said that.
very cool.
Actually, like, I mean, I tell that story on stage all the time. I was like,
Because Jewel's about the only other singer-songwriter that I know that yodels, and I'm like, this is the coolest thing I did know.
I know, and it was because of her that I was like, I heard this bootleg copy of an encore she did doing this crazy yodeling song, and I was like, people still yodel? I was like, I need to be one of those people.
Yeah.
And so now, like, yodeling is one of my things.
Do people get surprised when you start yodeling? Because it's not something that you hear at every sort of Americana show or every folk show these days.
Yeah, no, and it's a lot of fun. And some people are skeptical. You say you're going to yodel, and they're like, are you sure? Maybe you shouldn't do that, you know?
I'm holding my champagne glass and it's going to explode, isn't it? Yeah.
Because, you know, there can be some bad yodeling out there, but when you do it well and timed right, it can.
How did you teach yourself to do it?
Really just listening to it and just figuring out where the voice break was, and like just kind of harnessing it. It's just a muscle memory thing that, you know, I mean, for the first half of the 1900s, you know, every country artist yodeled. And then it just sort of fell out of style. And it's something that I think a lot of people could do. They just don't like spend the time actually going after it. Yeah. But I just decided I wanted to.
And I feel like that you're the kind of person that can listen to something, and within a few minutes you'll either be able to do it or you'll be constantly on it until you can do it. Is that fair to say?
Sometimes, yeah. I know when it comes to vocal things, I really love like digging into things. I've been trying to do some of that overtone throat singing, but I'm really far off on that. Have you done like lessons, or is everything you've learned self-taught? Everything's pretty much self-taught.
That's amazing.
I took like 5 lessons once, and I didn't really like the teacher, so I quit.
Fair enough. I like that. Just get out of it. I don't ever want to be here anyway.
Yeah,
I love that.
So,
and what about instrumentation? You play guitar. You've taught yourself that as well.
Yeah, and really I just use the guitar mostly to back myself up. I'm definitely a strummer. But I've got some amazing musicians that I work with. On this tour, I've got these 2 great British musicians on tour with me, Joe Coombs and Scott Warman, and they're so great to play with. And I've got a whole slew of musicians back in the States too, and you know.
How is it bringing out people to, I mean, you're traveling about, you're doing so many shows overseas as well now. How is it when you've got to bring people with you to come and do that, and gear and all the craziness that comes from flying from country to country to do show to show? How do you deal with all the craziness of making that happen?
It's really a case-by-case basis, you know. Like I have Peter Christofferson as the tour manager on this, and he really helped me organize all of this. And so I pretty much flew over. I didn't even, like, I borrowed this guitar from him.
It's a beautiful guitar, though.
I know.
I mean, it's a gorgeous little
I might accidentally take it home.
Accidentally.
Yeah. Peter won't notice it's missing. It's just a little
And if he sees you, you know, on stage with it later and photos and stuff, just, you liked it enough, you got your own.
Yeah. So he took care of just about everything for this tour. So it was really easy on me. But and then back home, like, it's just always you know, you do what you got to do to make it work.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Nashville Meets World. My name is Michelle Houston Campbell, and this is my very first show. I am so excited to be here, and I would like to welcome everyone from around the world here to Nashville tonight. Right here, we are at the Mercy Lounge that features so many different musicians here in the Nashville area, and I have one in particular right here. He's a producer, he's a musician, he just pretty much does it all. Would y'all please help me welcome AB? What's going on, AB?
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
Doing great. Thank you so very much for being with me tonight.
No problem.
I'm so honored to have you as my first guest as well.
I'm honored to be your first guest.
And what is all this? When did you get all grown on me? What is this?
You know, the job, the bills. That's what all that is.
I got you. Well, let's talk about something else. What is it? I know that you produce. I know you do a lot of different things, but tell me, what do you like about production and producing as far as music is concerned? I
think it's just the able to make a canvas for artists. You know, I'm a fan of music first, so I love the ideas and the execution that artists put on things, and I think it's just cool to challenge and give them just many different ways to express themselves, to make good music that I can listen to because I'm a fan. I don't work with anybody I'm not a fan of, so it's really just like, I would love to hear you on this and giving it to them, and I think it's the best part of production for me. Gotcha.
Now, I know production, that covers a lot of different things. So when you say production, are you more into the creative process or more technical? Which one do you prefer?
I'm involved in pretty much all of it, but I really just prefer the technical side. You know, just because the creative side, I'll do my little part, and I'd rather watch them create. Cause
you kind of leave that part to the artist.
I trust them. You know, but I don't mind getting involved in that creative side. But if I had a choice, I would just lay back and make the beat, send it, or help them record, or edit, and things like that.
Gotcha. Now, I know that you've collaborated with a lot of different artists and producers. Tell me some of the artists that you have worked with here in Nashville and around the world.
All right. We're here in Nashville, Brian Taylor, Lauren McClinton, Tim Gent, Jemiah Hudson, Chuck Indigo, Malcolm Voltaire, those are my real tight guys. And then kind of around the world, did some work with Kodak Black down in Miami. A lot of things with We the Best and DJ Khaled a few years ago. Denzel Curry.
Oh, wow. Those are some heavy hitters.
I'm trying to think what else. Did some work with VH1 as well.
Now, I do know that you recently opened up for Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Got connected in kind of with the family of RZA, and just good relationship.
But we're not name dropping, of course.
But just things led good relationship, and they asked us to open up in Louisville, Kentucky, and
Louisville.
I think it was a sold-out show. I know it was 1,500 when we got on stage, and that was me and Tim Gent. That was the biggest crowd I've performed on so far, and it was an experience.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds super, super exciting. Now tell me this, is there a certain artist that that you haven't worked with yet, but you are just like, you cannot wait to work with this particular artist or producer?
Maroon 5, I think,
really?
Just because I think they have a lot of range, and
they do.
I think they pushed me to really do some other things, but I've just been a fan for years, and if it was a rapper, probably Isaiah Rashad. I love what he does over there at TDE. I've been a big fan for years. I think that'd be.
Now let me ask you this: what artist, that has already left us, which artist would you say, I wish I could have worked with him before they passed?
Oh.
That's a loaded question, huh? I got him.
That's a really good one. It's already, I would say Prince.
Oh.
But I don't really know if I would. I just would love to just see this process.
I think you just like to just be in his air, just breathing in the genius.
I'm looking out the window, anything. But Prince or Jay Dilla, he was a producer, and he was a master technician, and I think I would learn so much from him in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
So between Jay Dilla and Prince.
Yeah, I heard that Prince actually played notes that wasn't even discovered yet, or some craziness like that, super talented.
Steve Perry, the guitar player for Aerosmith, he was. They asked him who was the greatest guitar player, and he was like Prince, because it's a solo. When Dell's cried at the beginning intro, there's a lot of guitar players who are legendary don't know what he did. So
yeah, that
he was a bad boy, man.
Yeah, and that song was many moons ago, and it still is still relevant today.
So relevant.
Okay, so now I want to ask a question. It's not music related, but I heard through a little birdie that I'm gonna say, if you just had to choose between LeBron, I'm not even gonna say MJ, and Kobe, who are we going with?
Without a doubt, without any question.
And I know the answer to this question.
any hesitation would be Kobe being right. LeBron is an incredible player, don't get me wrong, but there's a certain holiness around Kobe.
Holiness, okay.
It should be revered, you know. I'm just saying.
And I'm sorry. Thank you.
To be honest, that's all.
Yes, we heard it's a certain holiness even. We went there. Listen, that's pretty much it. AV, thank you so very much for joining me today. It was a pleasure having you as my first guest.
I had a great time.
I'm glad
first guest, number one.
Yes, thank you so very much. Now, AB, tell everybody, where can we find you? How can they follow you and things like that?
Socials is a.b.eastwood anywhere. You can find me through my artists as well. Just to name a few: Jemiah Hudson, Tim Gent, Brian Taylor, Norman Clinton, Malcolm Voltaire, Chuck Indigo. Just name a few. And then coming on Netflix soon. A couple of movies. You'll see some of the productions there. And I think that's about it. And
that's all we need to say. Thank y'all so very much for joining us at Nashville Meets World. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
How is it, I mean, there's a lot of controversy on the front about women in country music and women in music in any sense of the word these days, because it's sort of, there's this bit of a rival going on with where it stands. How do you feel it's at the moment? Where do you feel being a woman and being so successful and with the accolades that you've had and what you're doing and you're on the road all the time? Where do you feel it's at right now? Do you feel it's sort of, it's balancing itself out, or do you think it's kind of like there's a lot more room for change still?
Oh no, there's still tons of room for change. I mean, I feel like at least, you know, at least we're moving in the right direction. Like, we're talking about it a lot, which is a good thing. And there are things like the High Women who are topping the charts right now, and Brandi Carlile's like starting her own festivals of women, you know, but it's still, most of the music festivals, like, the majority are men, and, you know, the women are billed much farther down, and, you know, like, and country radio, you know, mainstream country radio in the States is just so skewed toward male songwriters and male artists. There's a lot of room to grow.
What do you think the main thing is as an artist you can do for people watching that are artists? What advice would you give women that are out there that are playing their hearts out and not able to make the jump? What do you think is the advice you would give to somebody in that scenario to help them?
I mean, I don't know if there's necessarily advice. Just, you know, don't let it get you down. You can't. You just gotta. The more women who are out there doing this and not getting discouraged by it, the better. You know, we just need to keep showing the, you know, the festival promoters and the radio promoters and everybody that, like, we can draw crowds just as strongly. We can get just as many listeners if they actually put us in those places, you know. So I think they just think we can't, but so often, you know, women are drawing great crowds, and it's just a matter of believing in that. So
can we hear one more song?
Absolutely.
Can we do, I don't know what a song you want to do, but I was listening to The Blue the other day.
Yeah,
that is a great song.
Can
you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this song is another one that I kind of say is a sort of a California song, because I wrote this.
Such a California girl. I love that. It's great.
Because it's about sailing off into the blue, which, you know, like, you know, obviously the ocean is such a big just image when you're out there in California, and I wrote this on a New Year's Eve when I was thinking about my decision to quit my job and finally tour full time. And just like I was kind of imagining like this, my musical dream as being this little speck out on the horizon that I had to just like kind of sail off. Because like that's kind of what, you know, doing something like this, like chasing your dreams, it's like, it really, people talk about like jumping off the cliff and just going for it. Like all the metaphors are so true, because it's just like, there's no guarantee. There's no, you know, this.
You gotta face those fears at some point.
Yeah, you just gotta go for it and hope for the best. And so that's what this song is about.
Let's hear it. I can't wait.
Sail away into the blue. It's out there waiting, could be waiting for you. certainty to you and a blue.
Your songs tell stories, and they don't just tell stories, but they tell inspirational messages at the same time. And you seem like the kind of person that just wants to inspire people to get out and live life to the fullest and enjoy all the moments. Is that fair to say?
I think so. I think that's what we all hope to do. And like, I don't know, I do feel like songs are such an important vehicle for telling stories and connecting people. Yeah. And I feel like songwriters kind of have a responsibility in a way to help bring people together through their art. So
I can see that in what you're doing, and it's amazing. And I'm so glad that we've been able to have you on the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Have you here in Edinburgh, and I can't wait for the show tonight. You're here in Edinburgh tonight. Mm-hmm. Where is next? You're heading out to go and do some exploring tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow we actually have a day off, and then we go to Nottingham. If I say it right.
Yeah.
And to be honest, parts of this tour I'm not really, since Peter did so much of the organizing, normally I do like all my own tours and I know the dates like the back of my hand. But I know like we've got a London show.
Yeah.
We've got and then we do a week in Spain actually after another, like we've got another like week and a half here in the UK and then a week in Spain.
Have you been to Spain yet?
You know, when I was a teenager, I went to Spain with my Spanish class. So,
but it's a bit different this time.
It's only gonna be a little different when I'm not 15.
Maybe there'll still be a few margaritas at the end of the night, though. Maybe.
Yeah, it'll be a little different. But so I have seen it a little bit, but I'm so excited to really spend some time there. We've got a few days off, and it's gonna be really fun. So
it's amazing. And then back home and back to Nashville, and then going.
And off to conquer the world again.
I love it. Amazing. I'm so glad we've had a chance to spend some time with you. Thanks for coming on the show, and thank you to everybody that's watching. Now, anybody that wants to find your stuff online, where can they find you?
Well, I'm on all the social media, Alice Wallace, AliceWallaceMusic.com is my website. And but yeah, I'm on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all the things.
Go and find her, she's amazing. Go and see her at a show, buy her albums, and just support this person. She's amazing. Thanks so much for being on the show. Thanks for watching, and we will see you guys again for another edition of Nashville Meets World very, very soon. Take care, guys.
Give me that moment